What is going on, Rams Nation? We all know this team rarely breaks the bank for linebackers, but a massive shift just happened that you need to hear about. We finally found our signal caller and a defensive leader who changed the entire identity of our run defense. But here's the burning question. Is our middle-of-the-field anchor actually the missing piece to a championship puzzle, or are we playing with fire regarding our depth? This situation is deeper than you think. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below before we dive into this critical update. The Los Angeles Rams have historically avoided heavy investment in the linebacker position throughout the tenure of Sean McVay. Even the 2022 signing of Bobby Wagner was viewed primarily as a veteran superstar seeking a hometown opportunity rather than a shift in organizational strategy toward the position. However, the trajectory of this group changed significantly when the Rams signed Nate Landman to a low-value contract in 2025. That move has since proven to be one of the most impactful offseason acquisitions for the team. Nate Landman emerged as a central figure in the defense, delivering a standout season that featured a career-high 132 combined tackles. Beyond his tackling production, his ability to generate turnovers became a signature of his play, as he forced 4 fumbles throughout the year. This production earned him a mid-season contract extension, cementing his role as a core piece of the defensive unit. Before Landman, the team struggled with inconsistent run defense during the 2024 season, featuring Christian Rozeboom and Omar Speights. The arrival of Nate Landman provided the exact reliability the defensive front required to function effectively. He quickly took on the responsibility of wearing the green dot, officially becoming the primary signal caller for the defense. While his performance saw some fluctuations following his contract extension, the organization maintains a high level of trust in his capability to lead the unit. As we look at the current roster, Nate Landman stands out as the anchor of the linebacker core, a position that the team traditionally kept on the periphery of its financial investment. The transition from a thin rotation to a unit led by a playmaker like Nate Landman has redefined expectations for how the Rams approach their defensive front seven responsibilities moving into 2026. Why does this matter right now for the team? The answer lies in the structural stability of the defense. Nate Landman is currently the indispensable engine for a unit that relies heavily on its defensive front to dictate the terms of engagement. Without his presence, the Rams would face a significant drop-off in production, likely reverting to the defensive struggles seen during the 2024 season. In that previous campaign, the team frequently leaked yards in the run game, creating unnecessary pressure on the secondary to make tackles in open space. Nate Landman provides the necessary discipline to fill gaps, which is a fundamental requirement for the current scheme. The depth behind him remains unproven, consisting of players like Sean Dolak, who is an undrafted free agent in his second season, and veteran Grant Stewart, who is primarily utilized on special teams. If the team were forced to play without Nate Landman for an extended period, they would lack a clear replacement capable of managing the defensive calls. The potential absence of their signal caller would leave a vacuum in leadership that the current depth chart simply cannot fill. Relying on scheme-based adjustments with backup players might work for a single game, but it is not a sustainable long-term solution. The Rams have built their defensive identity around a dominant front, but that philosophy only works if the linebackers execute their assignments consistently. Nate Landman is the bridge that connects the defensive line to the secondary, and his ability to read plays directly dictates whether the team forces a 3-and-out or allows a chain-moving conversion. Because there is no immediate heir to his role on the roster, the importance of his continued health and performance cannot be overstated for the upcoming season's success. The statistical reality of Nate Landman's performance offers a clear look at how his output directly influences the success of the defense. During the first 11 weeks of the 2025 season, the Rams were a top-tier run defense, ranking 3rd in EPA per play. During this high-functioning period, Nate Landman was an elite contributor, ranking 9th among all linebackers against the run according to Pro Football Focus. His presence allowed the front seven to remain aggressive, knowing that the second level was secured. However, the performance metrics shifted noticeably following his contract extension in the wake of the Week 11 victory over the Seattle Seahawks. From Week 12 through Week 18, the defensive unit's efficiency in run defense dropped to 20th in EPA, coinciding with a dip in Nate Landman's individual metrics. During this stretch, he ranked 33rd against the run and recorded the 5th highest missed tackle rate among his peers. This contrast highlights the dual nature of his impact. When he is locked in, the defense functions as one of the most effective units in the entire NFL. When his consistency wanes, the entire defensive structure experiences a measurable decline in performance. The organization recognizes that Nate Landman is capable of game-changing plays, specifically his knack for punching the ball out and creating fumble opportunities that shift momentum. These forced fumbles act as a multiplier for the defense, compensating for other potential weaknesses. The goal for the upcoming season is to recapture the efficiency levels seen prior to Week 11. As the team moves forward, they are betting that the version of Nate Landman that dominated the first half of the year is the standard they can expect, provided he remains healthy and focused on his core gap responsibilities within the scheme. Evaluating the roster architecture reveals why Nate Landman, despite his clear importance, does not crack the top 20 rankings of NFL linebackers. The positional value of the linebacker spot in modern defensive schemes is often weighed differently than premium positions like edge rushers or cornerbacks. The Rams have demonstrated that they can survive, and at times thrive, even without standout individual play at the linebacker level, provided the rest of the defense is performing at an elite standard. However, the margin for error is razor thin. If other star players on the defense underperform, the lack of an elite, consistent force at the second level becomes a glaring issue that completely changes the math for the coaching staff. The reliance on Nate Landman is therefore not just about his individual skill, but about the team's need for stability at a position that historically they chose not to prioritize. The Rams need more consistent play from Nate Landman than what was shown in the latter part of the season. Still, the data suggests that even if he remains at the performance level he displayed during the second half of the year, the defense should still be effective enough to compete. The key is balance. The front seven needs him to mitigate the risk of explosive plays, while the secondary focuses on coverage. If Nate Landman can stabilize his missed tackle rate, the defense avoids the volatility that plagued them during the end-of-season stretch. This internal assessment defines his status. He is a major piece of the engine, but not the entire car. Fans looking at the roster should view him as the stabilizer of a volatile group, an essential leader who allows the defensive front to play with the aggression required to disrupt opponent backfields and force errors. The future of the linebacker position in Los Angeles is inextricably tied to the continued development and consistency of Nate Landman. By securing him with an extension, the team signaled that they acknowledge his value as a field general. The challenge now is to maintain that high level of defensive efficiency throughout the duration of a full campaign. While the team remains cautious about heavy financial investments at the position, Nate Landman has proven that smart, targeted acquisitions can pay dividends that exceed their initial cost. He remains a player the Rams trust implicitly, and his role as the signal caller provides an intangible advantage that the team lacked in previous years. Looking ahead, the focus for the coaching staff will be on ensuring that his gap-fitting responsibilities remain a priority, preventing the lapses in run defense that occurred in the later stages of the previous year. For the fans who have watched the team ignore this position for so long, the presence of Nate Landman is a welcome deviation from the norm. He represents a rare instance where the team found a solution to a long-standing positional weakness through a low-risk, high-reward move. As the team prepares for the upcoming schedule, the mission is clear. Keep the defense cohesive, continue to force turnovers through his trademark playmaking ability, and ensure that the second level of the field is rarely exposed. If the team can replicate the early season success he spearheaded, the defense will be well positioned to remain one of the most effective units in the league. As the crowd echoes the team's spirit and the players gear up for the next challenge, it is time to ram it and see if this defensive core can hold firm, relying on Nate Landman to anchor the middle of the field all year long.